Well, today it's going to be around 100 degrees, but I still got some things to do. Now it's hard to tell where the skyline begins and the roof tarp meets. There's so much smoke in the sky from Oregon, Idaho, California, everywhere. America's burning. America's burning, folks. But I still got to get things done today. So why don't you join me just for a few, and I'll show you what I'm doing. For those of you who are new to the channel, I thank you for joining us today. And we sure hope you come back. Feel free to subscribe and like if you so choose. So let's get going. Now, either last year or early this year, I can't remember now, but what I did was I took an old garden hose that was leaking on the ends, and I cut it down to where I could use it, and I put an end on it. But the kind of end I put on there was, it was 100% plastic, and it never did seal, and it pretty much flooded the chickens when it leaked, because I tied it to my water system that waters my garden. So if I set my garden for 2 hours, can you imagine a leak for 2 hours? That's exactly what was happening. So it was one of those things that we put off doing. So what I had to do is I had to carry a bucket over here, or I had to fill it with that hose. Now that hose is running off of the 3/4 inch black PVC. That's, I call it the header. It drops all the way down to the southern garden. And right at the very end, I put a valve on there that I can screw a garden hose on. That's exactly what I did. Well, today I have taken some parts that I ordered from you know where. It starts with an A. And I put the clamp on there. Took that little plastic clamp off and put that metal clamp on. And so far, it looks like it's working. Now I'm going to have to watch it real close, because there's 2 valves on the bottom. Those are those little bowls, and they will fill until they get full. And then when they drop down, it shuts the valve off. That's the theory. I sure hope it works. But 2 of them for, I don't know, 10 chickens, I think it'll be all right. And I can stop using the old rubber bucket, because the rubber bucket, oh man, they'd get in there and wash their feet and do their whatever's in it, and it got really messy. Every day I had to wash it out, and it was a real mess. I said, hey, I need something that I can automate, and every time my garden kicks on, this is going to fill this bucket every day, just like it does on the chickens on the west side of the property. Now, Barton split the chickens up, and the reason he did that is because the foxes and the skunks was killing our chickens on the east side, or excuse me, on the west side. So he says, well, I'm going to put them on the east side, and if they get in there and they kill a bunch of chickens, if they dig in and kill a bunch of chickens, we won't lose 100%, so they'll lose 50%. Well, that's his theory. So now we got 2 places to feed, we got 2 places to water, and hopefully now this works where at least the watering is going to be automatic like it is on the west side. Barton set up a system on the west side, and it's automatic, and it works pretty good. So, I'll show you what else I had to do in order to make this thing work today. I know we haven't got the chickens into the other chicken tractor yet, and I know that Barton says that he's got a weekend coming up, and he plans on doing a little work around the place, try to play catch up. Well, seems like every time you have one job you're working on, 10 jobs pop up. And that's okay. You know, that's what makes America great, is that we have an opportunity to do these things, where a lot of countries, they're working all day just to have a handful of rice. You know what I'm talking about. Folks, at its worst, America is still blessed. But prepare for the worst. And love yourself, your family, and your neighbors. That's what God wants. All right, I'm going to show you what I did today. Just thought I'd show you what those little cups are all about. You've seen them before. There's 2 of them on that bucket. And it's not leaking. Hallelujah. I just thought I'd stop to show you some of these apples. It's kind of exciting. I sure hope I get enough water on them and make them nice. And I hope the bugs don't kill them for me. I'd like to have some. It's been rough to water everything. I've been letting the grass grow because if I cut it too short, they'll burn up. And even with the watering, I got a lot of dead spots, or dry spots. So, let me go show you what I did over here that helped me out today. Now this Orbit timer, I think we've had it for 4 or 5 years. Barton bought it years ago. We were so amazed because the battery in it lasted for years, not months, years. So it doesn't take very much. And it, I can have 4 different settings, and of course there's different levels of settings. I honestly don't know how many things, different programs you can do, but bottom line is, on what I have, I've got one of these splitters with 4 4-way valves. So anyhow, the first one is the manual one, and I've split that into 2. So one goes into 2, and then off of those 2, I've split some of them out there. Then I've got these timers. Now, what I wanted to tell you about is this first hose, this red one right here, goes to the garden. That's what I was working on just now when I was showing you the chicken setup. This valve, the old valve that I took out, it's right down there in the bucket. And I don't know if I can fix it, but I'll just explain it to you. I think that the mineral buildup from our water has fouled it up. And when the timer kicked on, and the timer set the power to this valve, it wasn't opening up, so my garden wasn't getting watered. Now last year I had trouble because my garden wasn't getting watered because of a collapsed hose. This year it's because of a bad valve. But I had the 4th valve, the one that used to be the 4th one here, because Barton bought 2 extra. I think this thing came with 2, then he bought 2 extra. So I took one off and put manual, used it as a manual on that side. And then I put the one that we hadn't been using, I put it right here on number 1. So now all 3 are working and functioning properly. And this is why my garden wasn't getting watered enough. And I could really tell the difference when I just reprogrammed and I put this on for an hour. When this thing popped, I could really hear the water rushing through there. So what I will do, maybe not now, but what I will do is I'm going to take these off and I'm going to check the screens. They've got a rubber seal with a screen in there, and I'm going to check and make sure that those are wide open. Because I've noticed that we're not getting the water volume as we used to. And I think we are here because this has all been cleaned out. So I learned something. I got to get after this. This is just like a maintenance program in a factory. You got to go through everything in season and make sure that all the system is functioning the way it's supposed to. Now this 4-way I bought off of Amazon, of course, the big A. And you can buy them anywhere. I don't know. I don't think they came with this Orbit timer. So you can buy most any kind. I've got plastic ones. I got brass ones. I got all kinds. But what I did was I run a hose from that. You can see it's screwed right to this 4x4 post. So is the timer. And that's very secure, and I like that. This four-way used to be screwed right to a faucet. And that was sitting on that faucet, and it was rocking, and it would break right here. So now it's all screwed down, and it's likely to never break like that again. Now these may break. If I pull on these hoses, I might could do something bad. But with this extension, this is a 5-foot extension, 3/4 inch, so it's bringing a good amount of water in there. And now underneath the ground is a 1 inch. So this is a 1 inch faucet that goes to a 3/4 that goes over to this, and then it's reduced down through those valves, of course, and then it goes right back to 3/4. Folks, if I'm going to spend the money, I want a 3/4 inch hose. I do have some 5/8. I'm trying to use them up, and I'll eventually just throw them out. This is that new ground faucet that we put in. It's a stop and drain. And if you want to see a video, I'll try to put it up at the top so that you can see it. And this has worked out really good. Now I do have one on the west side of the property, and it's been in since last year, and I'm sure hoping these last more than a year. So, like I say, been watering a lot. I think I've resolved my problem, and most of it is just, the biggest problem was me. I need to get out here, get the parts and materials, and get out here and get her fixed. So the solenoid's been replaced, and the buckets is operational for the chickens. And we've got some big surprises coming up, and I'm going to say in a few weeks I'll be able to tell you all about it. We're working on a new project, and we'll tell you all about it in a week or two or 3. I'm not sure when, but it's kind of a surprise. And we're thinking that it's going to be something that we can really appreciate at Sand Hollow Homestead. So now that I got that done, oh, by the way, that's something else that I did over in the flower garden. This thing was leaking so bad. This was a soaker hose, and believe it or not, I've lived here 8 years, and I had this over there for 2-3 years. So 10, 11 years I've had that, and it sprung a leak, had a big hole. So what I did was I bought a new one off of the Big A, and I just put it in today, and boy, it's really dripping good. And I'm really impressed because I was running 3 sprinklers and the soaker at the same time. I don't know that I've ever done that before. So yeah, maybe cleaning up things and getting them unplugged, maybe that makes a difference, huh? Anyhow, even old dogs can learn new tricks. And I should have known better. I've been in maintenance most of my life. So anyhow, I'm going to toss this one in the trash. It's just so rotten that it's bringing leaks everywhere. So, and that's all for now. Trying to keep from cooking. Yeah, like I say, it'll be 100 degrees today at least. And with the sun blocked, at least you don't get burned as bad. It's just hot. And I don't know how it is in your neck of the woods, but prayers for you and your family. I hope everything's going okay. Come back and visit again sometime. We sure do appreciate it. I know we're not any fancy channel that, is building skyscrapers, but we're just common folk, doing what we can day by day with what we got. And if you check out our videos from the past, you'll see we use a lot of reclaimed wood, reclaimed everything. Why? Because we believe that that's a smart way to do it, is to use reclaimed wood and reclaimed supplies and barter and trade so that you can get by, do what you need without buying the bank. I'm not getting no loan for a garden hose, folks. So we'll talk with you all later. Thanks for stopping in. So we'll see you